So, some playing around with the calculator this time. They want us to take this original function absolute x minus 3, which we drew a few pages ago, and use the calculator to draw its inverse. So, alright, we can do that. Absolute x minus 3 is the first thing we have to put in. To get absolute value, you have to go into the math menu. And then you go over to where it says num. And the very first option is abs, which is short for absolute. If you pick that, and then put an x in it, that's the absolute value of x. Then we have minus 3, and you can graph that and see that it does indeed make a V shape, or an L shape, with a vertex at 0, negative 3. Now, if you want to see the inverse, that's in the program menu. It's under draw, so you have to go second draw. And the thing we wanted to draw is an inverse, which is further down in this menu. Draw inv is short for draw inverse. The calculator says, okay, draw the inverse of what? You could give it a whole list of points here, or if you want to give it the function that we drew, you remember our function was y1 when we put it on this graph, or I assume that you used y1. So we get back to draw inverse, press vars, and then go down to where it says, go over to where it says yvars. Pick out function. And here's a list of all the graphs that you might have active. We're using y1. So now you're telling it, draw the inverse of y1. And when you do that, sure enough, as we found already, it sketches an inverse function that matches this. All the calculator is doing is taking its points from this original graph, like, say, minus 3, 0, and switching them to produce new points like 0, minus 3, and plotting those. So nothing to it. You can do this quite easily. It's unlikely you'd ever use the calculator to do this, because it doesn't tell you anything about what the inverse equation is. It just draws a picture of it for you. Unless you had to draw this picture and then check it for accuracy, there's not much reason to follow these steps, and certainly not much reason to remember them. Hint, hint.